Hi, I'm Melissa Simpson. I'm here with Vincent Piazza, and I'm with the International Left-Hand Path Consortium, 2016. And Vincent here is a presenter at the International Left-Hand Path Consortium. Vincent, hi, thank you for joining me.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. Atlanta was nice to me since I've gotten here, so it's nice to be in your home and do this interview.
Excellent, well thank you, I greatly appreciate that. I have a few questions for you. Like, for example, you're coming out with a book, hopefully this fall, correct?
Yeah, theoretically.
Theoretically.
It looks like we're going to cut it into two parts, but yeah, the first part should come out this fall.
Okay, excellent. So could you tell me something about it?
Sure. It's called the GRIMORIUM CARCERIS. It's a mixture of magic and art. The format that we're putting it out is going to be unlike most grimoires that are put out. It chronicalizes my early history as a magician and then my time in prison as a magician, and how I practiced magic within the confines of the federal government, how I created my own system mixing Western occultism and Taoism, and a couple of surprises. So.
Excellent, I can't wait to see it, definitely. And who's doing the artwork for you?
That would be Jennifer Henderson. She's my business partner and an excellent artist.
Yes, absolutely. I've seen some of her stuff and she's really good. I really appreciate her artwork. Now, so you said that you were in prison, practicing magic. That's kind of strange, I think, So how were you able to practice magic in the confines of the government?
Federal prison is a very strange place. They're hesitant to stop your religious choice. Luckily, while I was incarcerated, they allowed me to teach classes on magic. I was able to start my own pagan group, so to speak, and had a chaplain who really supported all of my efforts in doing so. At one point, I had a full set of magical tools, including a goetic circle that I had made myself with various resources acquired within prison. So it wasn't as difficult as you may believe. Also gave me a large amount of time to study and practice. Made mistakes, changed my life, and now here I am now.
And I'm glad you are, absolutely. So, now how long have you been practicing magic and been into the occult?
About 20 years, a little more, I guess 25, but for about 20 years I've been very serious and focused on my work.
Now, what got you into the occult?
Well, that's a hell of a story, right? When I was a young man, a apparition appeared to me and ended up being the spirit of a Civil War lieutenant named Victor. And he hung out with me for almost 2 years, taught me things that I wasn't supposed to know as a young man. I was informed by my parental figures that it was all in my head. But I was completely fascinated. The only person who supported me in the whole idea of seeing a dead person was my great-grandmother, who was a practicing Italian witch and also a very devout Catholic, which is a mixture within Italian witchcraft that you can't really get away from. From the age of 8 until now, I've just devoured everything that I can find on occult practices, especially the conjuration of spirits.
That's really fascinating. I mean, especially having that idea of someone coming and visiting you. So that's really fascinating. And it's also great that you had the support of your grandmother. Most definitely.
Great-grandmother.
Great-grandmother, excuse me.
My grandmother was also, she read playing cards, was a gambling grandmother, went to Vegas every year and all that, but intensely, I don't want to use the term psychic, but she had that sixth sense about herself, and obviously it has run in my family for a long time.
That's really, really fascinating. It's also wonderful too that you had that experience. Now, I see all these tattoos on your arms.
Yes.
They're awesome.
Couple, right?
I love them. I love them. And I was curious, as far as your practice of magic, how have these tattoos developed and how have they helped you?
Well, I don't have any fun tattoos. Like, I don't have any tattoos that, that's an awesome dragon. I'm just going to put this awesome dragon on me. Each one has a esoteric or cultural or magical theme behind it. This arm of sigils also serves a dual purpose that I have from doing evocation or conjuration from a correct standpoint and then doing it a number of times. I've been able to invest some of these tattoos to be able to call the spirit on the fly by performing that ritual astrally. And just touching it, I can call, for example, Astaroth or Astari in a matter of moments, as opposed to having to do a full ritual setup. But that takes a lot of pre-planning. I mean, you have to do it correctly the first time, and then a number of times after that to be able to set up. It's almost like the idea of creating a tattoo as a mudra, and through a focus between fingertips and symbol and mind, you can bring up or evoke that moment in time when you conjured the spirit the first time and recreate that moment anywhere you are.
That's very fascinating. I mean, I love your tattoos, and I just had to ask about them. Absolutely. Now, you are originally from New Orleans.
Yes, born and raised.
So now, you actually read Tarot on Jackson Square for many years. What was that like?
A very... Reading tarot on Jackson Square has changed over the years. Before, it was the wild, wild west of psychic readings. I mean, you had everyone from gypsy tarot card readers to palmistry to someone throwing ruins, and there was a lot of drugs going on at the time. This is the early 90s in New Orleans. Today, it's a lot more stratified. You have to be licensed. The Jackson Square is not what it was when I was reading cards out there. It was a real learning experience about people. Taught me a lot about how to do divination in some of the more dangerous situations. And at the time, I'd read close to 75 to 100 people within a 4-day period, like during a festival time. And you learn a lot. You learn a lot about your limits and the different personalities and lifestyles of people from all around the world.
That's really fascinating. I bet you did learn quite a bit. Absolutely. Now, we actually have a movie that we're working on that
Yep.
you wrote.
Right.
And what gave you the inspiration to write this script?
Well, the initial inspiration was being contacted by yourself, and just an idea. I've had a lot of fiction ideas that are mixed with the occult in the back of my head for quite some time. I've written poetry and prose and short stories all of my life. But the idea of writing a script just never presented itself in such a way. So I just went ahead and wrote it.
It's absolutely fascinating. I love the script, so you did a great job.
So far, people like it. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Hopefully.
Absolutely. So now you're going to be speaking at the International Left Hand Path Consortium.
From what I understand, yeah.
And do you have an idea of what you're going to be speaking about?
It's going to be a talk about Taoism and the left hand path. I'm a practicing Taoist. I've been a practicing Taoist for about 12 years, I would think. And I've mixed my my magical work with Taoism and my Taoism with my magical work heavily for the last 6. So I've basically been on the left-hand path for most of my practice. But just recently I've really started to focus on the Taoist aspects of the left-hand path and how similar Taoism is to the idea of ascension, or to become a deity, or the main praxis of the left-hand path, how it is approached. And it's amazing how similar they actually are. And when you look at the 3 major Asian philosophies, especially when it came to China, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism, all 3 almost take up a comparison to right-hand path and left-hand path ideas. And the Taoist was the rebel. The Taoist was the eccentric. The Taoist was the one who did not follow the correct way. The Taoist was the one who the Buddhists all frowned against because, they were doing strange things with alchemy and having sex for 15 hours and not releasing to increase their chi. And this was very, very strange to conservative China. So I find a true similarity between left-hand path ideals and Taoist ideals.
That's really fascinating. That is really fascinating. Excellent. Again, I'm with the International Left Hand Path Consortium 2016, and my name is Melissa Simpson, and this is Vincent Piazza. Thank you, Vincent, for coming. I greatly appreciate your presence.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
I do appreciate it.
Excellent.
Take care. See you guys there. Yeah.
And we're out.
Out.